Hello, I would like to demonstrate for you our model 5830 BGA Rework Station. This is one of the simpler units. It doesn't have split vision, so everything's going to be you manually place the components. It's good for removals, and it's good for placing components that are large enough that you can align the pads of the solder balls, under a microscope without having to have a split vision placement system. It's a pretty cute unit. I'll show you what it has. We have top hot air, bottom hot air, and then infrared plate type area heaters to heat up the overall boards. You have different nozzle sizes. The nozzles are magnetic, so the top nozzle and the bottom nozzle both come off magnetically, so they're easy to move around. And then it has a nice heavy-duty metal frame here, and you can put in pretty wide circuit boards on it. I'll look to our website for the spec on that. And then you also have supports. So if you have some boards that are flimsy and you need to support them, you have little screws that go in here and they'll screw up. And you can adjust them left, right, forward, backward to support your board so that it doesn't sag down. You also notice you have a screw here in the middle on the bottom nozzle. And you have a knob here on the right that moves the bottom nozzle up and down. This also allows you to provide support to the board in case you have thinner boards that are sagging. So ideally what you do is go get everything set up. You just slide your board in place once you have the width set. And in the event you're installing a chip, you line up your chip. In the event you're moving it, it has a vacuum removal. So normally at the end of a heat profile, for removal, the vacuum will automatically turn on, it'll beep, you can remove the chip. You can also manually run the vacuum. There's a little hole here inside the tube. You just put your finger over the hole and lift up the chip. Put it back down, put it down, take your finger off the hole, release the chip, turn off the vacuum. So I'll do a little bit closer up on the screen here in a minute. Right now I just want to do a wide view of the overall machine features. You have this little knob, turns the heater head up and down. You have another knob here. This tightens how loose the head is. So you want to just fall. You want to have some snugness in it. You just snug it up with a little bit of resistance. You want too much. That's where it's comfortable to move up and down. You have another knob here that moves the head back and forth. And likewise, it has a little screw here or knob in case you want to lock it in place once you get it where you want it. And then back here you have another lock. This allows you to move the heater out of the way. So normally what will happen is we're going to run a profile. At the end of the profile, you'll get a beeping sound. The vacuum will go on. You move the head out of the way and pick up the component. So it's that simple. What takes a little more time is to set up the profiles and how to use the machine correctly. So we're going to zoom in a little bit here on the control screen and show you how to do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the touch screen and the commands that we use to operate the machine. As mentioned earlier, we have start here, and the start command is used to start the machine. The standby is what you press if you want to keep the machine on standby and you don't want anything to run. Again, the keep off, that will turn off all the heaters. Stop is if you're in the middle of a profile and you want to stop it, you just press stop. Cooling will turn on the cooling fans. Vacuum will turn on the vacuum pump. As again earlier we said, screenshot, if you put in a flash drive and press screenshot, it'll transfer the picture of the screen and whatever profile or graph you have on the screen to your flash drive in a BMP. If you look out here, we have outside temperature. That outside temperature is the temperature of our external thermocouple that we use to monitor the solder ball temperature at the BGA when we're heating it up. Upper temperatures for your upper heater, lower temperatures for your lower heater. Infrared are for your area heaters that are preheating the board. So what we have here is we have current program and program selection. If we look at our current program, this will tell us what the current program is in here. Right now our current program is lead-free. You can program anywhere from 1 to 8 zones. Normally we're going to use 3 to 4 for most boards on this type of machine. you have an upper temperature, an upper rate, constant time, lower temperature, lower rate, constant time, infrared temperature, infrared rate, constant time. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up different temperatures and times for each heater, top, bottom, and infrared. So right now I'm going to go in stages. Now for lead-free, I have my upper temperature at 60 for the first stage, 220 for the second stage, 250 for the third stage, and 280 for the fourth stage. I'm using an upper rate of 5 degrees. That means that it's going to heat up at 5 degrees per second. Normally, we're going to heat our boards up anywhere between 1 and 5 degrees per second. The thicker the board, the slower the rate you want to use because you want to allow your board to absorb the heat. Most boards aren't going to absorb the heat faster than 5 degrees per second. So even though some manuals and some companies will tell you go to 10, 20, 100, that's too fast. You really don't want to go more than 5. And like I say, ideally, I keep it between 1 and 3. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take the heater up to 60 degrees at 5 degrees per second. Once it gets to 60 degrees, we're going to hold it there for 30 seconds. And that's going to be our starting temperature. After 30 seconds, it's going to move on to the second phase. It's going to go to 220 at 5 degrees per second. Hold it at 220 for 30 seconds. And then it's going to go on to 250. As the board gets warmer and the heat gets higher, I'm going to hold it a little bit longer to allow the board a little more time to soak the heat up. So our third zone, we're going to go up to 250. When it hits 250, we're going to hold it for 40 seconds. And then it's going to go to 280 and hold it for 60 seconds. So ideally what we're going to do is we're going to bring on a lead-free solder, melts it around 212 to 215, ideally 220. So what we want to do is we want to bring the board up, the external thermocouple of the solder ball, up to about 230 to 240. And to do that, we're going to need to bring, depending on how dense the board is, we're going to need to bring it up between 250 and 280. So my top temperature, or my top heater is set to go up to 280 and hold it for 60 seconds. Likewise, my bottom heater is set the same as the top, except always on the last stage where I'm going to use 5 zones, 3 zones, 8 zones. On the last segment of the bottom heater, always set that to 300. And that way the bottom heater will not shut off before the top, because the machine will stop running by whichever heater ends its sequence first. And we want the machine to stop running based on the top heater getting to 280 and holding for 60 seconds. So we set the bottom heater to 300 to make sure the bottom heater does not stop before the top. And again, our infrared here, that's just preheating the board. We want, since it's heavier heaters, we want that to go a little faster. So our infrared will set at 10. And we're just going to, right now, I'm going to only have it to go up to 100. Basically, you want to preheat your board between, probably some boards between 70 and 100 degrees when it reaches the end of the profile. So you have a good board preheat. And so you're just going to experiment with your bottom heater. How hot do you have to set it to bring your board up to a desired temperature? And basically, by preheating your board, you'll be able to use less heat on the top and bottom heaters, and it'll reduce your warpers. So the bigger and thicker boards that you get, the more you want to preheat them. And again, we're just setting our bottom infrared heater to 500 seconds, basically so it stays on for the whole profile, because it's going to come to temperature. It's going to reach 100 degrees a lot faster than the other heaters, because the other heaters are going to go up to 280. So we need to hold that for about 500 seconds. Now, if we want to create an output profile, what we'll do is we'll go back and let's go look at program selection. In program selection, it'll bring up the last profile that we looked at. If we want to pick a profile, we'll go to selection. And this is where we pick our profiles. Right now, the only profile we have in here is lead-free. So we'll just confirm it'll load that profile. Now, if I want to make a new profile, all I have to do is click on the name here. And we're going to make a new profile right now. We're going to call it lead. And so we're going to build profiles off our existing profiles. So this one's going to be called lead. Go back to lead-free solder, melts it around 220. And we're going to use around 280 to get the the board, the solder ball is up to 220. Lead solder melts at about 190. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use a 3-zone profile at 250 for lead solder. So quite simply, I'm just going to delete this last row. I'm just highlighting each field, do a backspace to 0 it. We don't, oh yeah, we're going to delete that. And so what do we do now? Now we're down to a 3-zone profile. Remember, on our lower heater, constant temp times. Remember, on the lower heater, the constant time, we want it to always be 300 at the last zone. And our infrared, we always want it to be 500 at the last zone. So now we're going to go 60, 220, 250. And if you want, you can make these profiles different. You can go 60, 190, 220, 250 if you want to have more. It all depends on how thick your board is, how much copper it is, and how long it takes to heat up. So the more dense a board is, the more zones you'll probably need. But right now we got all that in there. And all we're going to do is we're just going to put save, program save. Let's go to selection again. Now if we look at our selection, we have lead free and lead. And so these are the two basic profiles we're going to start working with, and we'll build off that. I don't want to get too much more into profiles now. You can watch our other videos on setting up profiles. This video is going to be more on just setting up this particular machine. So right now, let's go ahead and we'll put in our lead, confirm. Well, go back. Do you want to apply this current curve? Which means, do you want to load this current curve and use it? Yes, I do. And so now if we look at this, we can see that we're back to our main screen. And if we want to run a program, all we do is press start. So for now, I'm going to press stop. When I press stop, the machine will go into automatic cool down mode. And all the fans will kick on high, and then you have a fan on the side that does cool down. Once all the fans stop running, then it'll be time to start doing the next board. Basically, we want to get all our upper and lower heater here down to about under 30. Right now we can see our side view fan, or we can hear the side view fan is still running. So once these are all down to room temperature, just turn off your side fan, and it's ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to do a removal of a component. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our profiles. We're going to go to Program Selection. And we're going to go to Select. And this is a lead free, so we'll press on lead free. That's confirmed. Look up on the left-hand corner. We've confirmed we've loaded our lead free. Go back to the main screen. It's going to say, do you want to apply this curve? Yes, I want to use this curve that I just loaded. I've already attached an external thermocouple close to the BGA. Oops, didn't want to do that. I want to hit this button. I'll turn on our light. So if you start up by accident, just press stop. Okay? And it'll stop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of external flux and just put a little bit on each side of the chip here. And this is just going to help to transfer the heat to the chip, or to the solder. I'm going to turn off my cooling fan. I'm going to slide the board in here under the nozzle. Now, I'm going to put the bottom nozzle close to the board. I'm adjusting it here on the right-hand side. So normally what we'll recommend is that you use a nozzle about 2 to 4 millimeters larger than the chip. When you get these small chips, we can use a small nozzle exactly the size of the chip. But if we have enough room, if there's not a lot of components around it, we could use a larger nozzle. I prefer to use a larger nozzle. That way, if you use a larger nozzle, it reduces the amount of heat you need because you're heating up more area of the board. And if you heat up more area of the board, it'll reduce the chances that the board will work. So all we're going to do now, we're just going to lower this down here. But I usually keep about 1/8 of an inch or so from the board. And we'll press start. We can press start on the machine, or you can press start on the software, whatever you choose. We're going to press start, and we're going to run the profile. Okay, so as this is running, this is a pretty small chip. So what you want to do, we're going to try and pick it up with the vacuum, but sometimes this vacuum might not be, might be too big for the chip, so I always keep some tweezers here on the side, just in case we need to grab the chip with some tweezers. Just watch what's happening now. Look at these two lines that are shooting up fast, so that's our top and bottom heaters, the upper and lower hot air. The blue line is our infrared heater. That's only going to go up to about 100 degrees to preheat the board. It's heated already, so this must be a lead solder. So we look at our outside temperature. It's at 220. So it's already heated up. Let's just go ahead and turn on our vacuum, press stop, move this out of the way, and go lift up the chip. And the chip came out pretty nice. You can see we can set the chip on the side of the board here and drop it. Okay, so remember to hold the little hole in the suction cup, lift up the chip. This is a really thin board. It's just a demo board. It's a cheap board. It's not really representative of what you're really working on. And they have lead solder. So our external temporal couple show 220, which is normal. That's about what the lead's going to melt at the chip. And simply we just press stop. The machine's cooling down right now. Turn off our vacuum. And we can see this is our profile. Our preheater went up to about 120 on our infrared, just about 100, just under 120. And it looks like we refilled 200. Yep, we refilled at 220. You can read the line here, we refilled at 220. So I'm just going to stair step up. And what we can do is, like, if we were going to make a profile for this chip, we would simply go back to select program, and we could rename it to, board number 123, chip number U2, wherever the location is. And basically we can just take off this fourth and this third profile and just run from 60 to 220. That would remove this chip. And remember, if we were to take this down to just a two-stage profile, what we're going to do, we're going to make our constant on the infrared 500, and we're going to make our constant on the lower heater 300. And like I say, if you want, go look at our videos on how to set up profiles, and that'll be a little more in depth. But right now, that's pretty much how I use this machine. Yes, we'll keep that loaded, and you can hear our cooling fan running. Let's turn that off. We're all done. So in closing, I wanted to point out a few last items on this machine that are critical. First off, the touchscreen comes with a little protective cover. So you want to remove that when you receive the machine, because this will reduce the sensitivity of the touchscreen, and sometimes it makes it hard for the controls to work. So always take your cover off. Second, the machine comes in two languages, English and Chinese. So you choose the language you want, and it's going to require a password. The password is 4/8. To enter the password, you'll click on the white area of the screen there, put 8888, and just press OK, and then it will let you into the programming area of the machine. Secondly, the machine comes with this hardware, and so you can hold the board by tooling holes. Normally on the board it's going to be square and it'll fit evenly and easily into the clamps, but sometimes you might get an odd shaped board, or you might get a board that has components like right on the edge and you can't fit it in there. And so what you can do is there's some little nuts on the top here, and you just take these little knobbies and take them back and forth, in and out. And basically you simply just hold the board while the tooling hole. And you can use 2 on one side, or you can use 2 on each side. So I think that comes with about 5 or 6 of these, and it makes it easier to hold the board. Likewise, if you're doing a lot of the same component on the same board, it's nice if you just get everything held in the tooling holes in one place, then just in, out when you're swapping the components. So it goes pretty fast. But those are the last few items I wanted to show you. Make sure we didn't forget anything. I think that covers it. If you have any questions, give me a call. My phone number toll free is 888-406-2830. That's 888-406-2830, and we're always here to answer your questions. So thank you for watching.